live. Yes, live from Jay's Place. And we're talking
Barber Shop Talk.
Yes, Barber Shop Talk, where nothing is off limits and everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table. Barber Shop Talk.
Yes, Barber Shop Talk, where nothing is off limits.
Barber Shop Talk.
Barber Shop Talk. Barber Shop Talk. Barber Shop Talk.
Barber Shop Talk.
Barber Shop Talk. Barber Shop Talk. Barber Shop Talk.
Everything's on the table. Barber Shop Talk.
Barber Shop Talk. Barber Shop Talk. Barber Shop Talk.
Everything's on the table. Barber Shop Talk.
Barber Shop Talk. Barber Shop Talk.
Here at Jay's Place, 1927 Olive Road. I am glad, I am excited, I am grateful that you, and especially you took the time to sign on to Jay's Place Barbershop 1927. We at Olive Road again. This is Wednesday. What is Wednesday? Wednesday's Barbershop Talk Wednesday. A great day is going to be. So glad you are here. Man, do you know what I got to do today? I got a special guest. All my guests are special, but today I got a special guest. But before I go into my guest, I want to make sure I give a shout out to all of the ones behind the scene. All of the people that's praying for this show to keep going on. All the ones that are supporting all of our sponsors. So I want to give a special shout out to all of my sponsors. I got to make sure they are heard and that you know who they are. My sponsors, listen, don't forget about my girl Nanisha Wright, Augusta Soul. Augusta Soul is a very own basketball team right here, semi-pro basketball team right here in the city of Augusta, Georgia. Support the team. Go out to Payne College. They got some more games left. I'm telling you, great atmosphere, great food, great team. This is a great place to be to support Augusta Soul. My girl Anisha Wright, she's doing what she got to do to make this city a better place for you as in entertainment. So go out and support the Augusta Soul right here at Augusta, Georgia, Payne College. Also, what we got going on April the 30th through May the 6th. April the 30th through May the 6th is Augusta Small Business Owner Week. Yes, I said it, Augusta Small Business Owner Week, 1028 Broad Street. Latanya Tillman is the one that puts this together, so I'm telling you, small business owner, I'm telling you, small business owner, and I'm telling you, small business owner, get in touch with my girl, Natalia Tillman, 1028 Broad Street. Also, you can go to the website at smallbusinessowners.org at gmail.com. I'm sorry. So go down there and be sure to put your business in the spotlight. Show your business. Let people know who you are, and we can all network and be a part of this city to make this city grow for all of the small businesses. Also, don't forget, get yourself vaccinated, get vaccinated, and get boosted. Please, ma'am, and please, sir. So again, today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. We are here with a special guest. As I said before, all these guests that I have on Barbershop Talk Live, they are special. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. So listen, if you want to see who this guest is, he came from far and near. He actually came from across the street. He came from a straight across the street, which is far and near. Listen, I want to give you a shout out, give some love to my good friend, Mr. Tony Lewis. What's up, Tony? Man, good to see you, baby. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm sorry, I misquoted you. The Augusta Commission District 6. Tony Lewis. You doing good? All right, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Listen now. Don't know if you had a chance to watch Barbershop Talk Live. Don't. Okay, well, if you had a chance to watch Barbershop Talk Live, and the way we do on this show, well, I call it a conversation. Some people call it a podcast, but I call it a conversation. We just having a conversation in the barbershop, and we just want to let everybody know what the conversation is about. And there's really, we just having a good old time. We just having a good time, having a good conversation. So, Tony, I check you out. I check you out.
Okay.
I made sure who you are is who you are.
Okay.
So I don't want anybody coming to this hot seat without me checking that person out.
Okay. You did your due diligence.
I did my due diligence.
Okay.
So for me to make sure that you are who you say you are, which I know who you are, but the people want to know who you are. So Tony, give us a few minutes to let the people of the CSRA, the people of Barbershop Talk Live audience know who is Tony Lewis.
All right. Thank you, John. Thank you for having me on this platform here.
Okay.
I got an opportunity on last week to actually sit in on Jenny Montgomery's being with you on last week in an awesome show. Awesome show. You didn't disappoint. She didn't disappoint.
Okay.
So, who I am? I'm Tony Lewis, born and raised here in Augusta, Georgia. Graduated from high school here in Augusta, Georgia, George P. Butler High School. Went to Payne College, graduated from Payne College in 1984. I actually finished my classes in 84, but I marched in 85 because they didn't have summer graduations. So I waited another year. I finished in the summer of 84, but I waited until the next year, which was 85, to walk with that particular class. So I obtained a degree, a BS in business management. After obtaining my degree in business management, I was employed at the Kroger Company at the time. So to be honest with you, I never really actually put my business degree to work because I got a phone call from Savannah Riverside, DuPont, at that time. And you know, back then, if you got a job at DuPont, you had a job.
You got a good job.
Hey, you had a good job. So I got a phone call in 1986 to come out and to put in an application. So I did that, and upon putting in my application, I was selected, had to go to school, do some training before they actually hired you. So after I finished the school in 86, I didn't get hired until 1987.
Okay.
So in 1987, I started my employment career, my second employment career out at Savannah Riverside. Spent almost 33 years out there. Was fortunate enough to retire in 2018. So this year, August, will be 5 years that I've actually retired. A lot of folks look at me and say, you retire? Can you retire? You don't look the retirement age. But that was the blessing about Savannah Riverside. Out there, you were able to retire at the age of 58. But you had to have a combination of the number 85. So if you had the combination 85, which means that in order to retire at 58, you would have had to at least have 27 years of service out at the site. So it just depends on when you come out there will determine really your age that you'll retire. But 58 is the age that you can retire with full retirement benefits.
You don't look 58.
Hey, 62.
62?
I'm 62.
You doing
gotta
good.
Remember, I retired 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
August, so I was 58 then.
I got you.
I was 58 then.
I got you.
So, retired from Savannah Riverside. Married, Pamela Lewis, have 3 children, 2 grandchildren, a member of Mount Vernon, a stone throw across the street here from where we're doing the Barber Shop Talk at, and been at Mount Vernon for all of my life, practically all of my life. And I'm currently the chairman of the Board of Deacons at Mount Vernon. Had the fortunate opportunity of running for the commission last year. But it wasn't my first time. I actually ran in 2006, my very first time, and got an opportunity to run again after having been retired. I was able to put a lot of effort into the campaign, and we were successful this time. So I'm commissioner now for District 6, one of the commissioners here in Augusta, Georgia.
Now, Tony, you said something earlier about Payne College, and I had some roots at Payne College also.
Okay.
And if you know about Payne College, they say PC one time.
PC one time.
PC one time.
PC one time. That's our moniker.
That's the moniker. That's it. PC
if you hear
one
that
time.
and somebody repeat, they know where you're coming from.
They know where you're coming from. PC one time. So now you look like you might have played some basketball at Payne. Did you do
Well, I
it?
didn't. I played intramural. I played intramural at Payne. But the strangest thing, I've been officiating basketball for 37 years. High school basketball, and I did some college basketball as well. But this year marked my 37th year of officiating Georgia high school basketball.
Didn't know that.
37 years.
Didn't know that. See, if you listen to Barber Shop Talk Live, you can learn a lot about the guests because I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. I don't know if the guests knew that, but they know now.
Absolutely.
So listen, I'm now you see now you want to motivate me to just run up and down the court.
Hey, we have openings.
We got openings.
We have plenty of openings.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, in the state of Georgia, there's a shortage of referees, so we're always recruiting referees.
So I heard it's $75 a game, $150 a game.
It's about $100 a game.
Okay,
About
okay.
$100 a game.
Okay, well I
And
think
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good little change.
Okay,
You know,
a little something.
for you to go out and eat. You know,
Yeah.
do this, a little gas
Okay,
money.
okay.
But it ain't gonna pay you.
Nah, I ain't gonna pay no mortgage now. I ain't gonna do all that. Ain't gonna do all that. Okay, well,
Supplemental. We call it
supplemental income. There you go. That's a pretty word. That's a pretty word. There you go. Thank God for the pretty word.
Absolutely.
Now, I also heard a few minutes ago you say you a deacon.
Absolutely.
Over here at Mount Vernon.
At Mount Vernon.
And you say that's a stone throw away from the.
Just a stone throw away from the shop.
There you go.
Yeah,
Now-
as a matter of fact, so much so, that John, let me put this shameless plug in. I want to say to you publicly that I appreciate the partnership of you including Mount Vernon on a lot of the things that you do in the city by way of health fairs and things of that nature. You've reached across, you've extended the olive branch to Mount Vernon so we can partner with one another to help try to make this community, give some awareness in the community when it comes down to health and things of that nature. So I want to say thank you for the things we've done in the past, and we look forward to doing more things with you in the future. So all you do is just ask us and we'll be there.
I appreciate that. And I just do it because I know you all have the heart to give, the heart to help. So I just want to keep that partnership going.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you, like you say, sending the olive branch to me.
Absolutely.
Because we got to do it together. We can't do it
That's the only way we can do it.
we
No
gotta do
man is an island.
No
man
man
stands alone.
We got to do it together.
Absolutely.
So now being a deacon, now Tony, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Now you ain't just a deacon, you the head deacon.
I'm the chairman of the board of deacons.
You the chairman of the board of deacons. So now most deacons always got some pushback.
Absolutely.
From the deacon and the deaconess.
Absolutely.
Is that a word, deaconess?
Deaconess. They are our cohorts.
Right,
so
right.
They are the women.
They're the women.
Deaconess.
I just remember that word growing up, deaconesses.
Absolutely.
Okay. So a lot of times you're dealing with the deacons and the deaconesses. How do you get through all that? And the old folk call it mumbo jumbo. How you get through all that stuff when you're trying to do God's work?
Well, in any organization, and the church is what we call a living organism. That's what the church is titled as. But when you look at it, it's just like any other organization that you have. You have structure. And the pastor is the shepherd. He's the shepherd. And the chairman of the board of deacon is the next person spiritual-wise and to help facilitate things at the church. So the deacon and the pastor works together to make the church runs efficiently. So just like any organization, you're going to have some resistance, you're going to have some pushback, but if we're all in for the same reason, then it should not be. But I'll never say that there are not problems in the church, because there are always problems in the church, because we're human. And humans are in the church. So if you take humans out of the church, that element, then you won't have any problem. But because we're mere humans, then we're going to have differences of opinions. We're going to have differences of ideas and all those things. But when we come together and talk about them, we can learn to agree to disagree when it comes down to even promoting spiritual things, that goes on in the church. It's not so much that you can have disagreements in worldly things. You can have disagreements in spiritual things as well. And the reason you will is because not everybody is on the same level when it comes down to their spirituality. And the Apostle Paul reminds us of that because when he was establishing churches in Asia Minor, he was meeting with a lot of resistance because, there were folks that did not want to give up certain rites and rituals. And so even the Apostle Paul was one of the greatest evangelists ever known to humanity, met with resistance and met with opposition within the church. Not so much outside. We expect the opposition on the outside of the church, but then it's something else when we have it on the inside. But Paul warned us about those factions in the opposition. So you have to work your way through things like that, even in the church.
Now, if correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. Now, normally, if by the you being one of the deacons in the church, as you said, you one of the you're chairman of the board. Mm-hmm. So in the absence of the pastor,
absolutely,
you are the next in charge to possibly preach a sermon.
Absolutely.
Can you preach a sermon?
You got to be ready.
You got to be ready.
You have to be ready. You have to be apt to teach. And even if you don't look at it as preaching, if that time permits itself, at least you got to have a teaching posture. So you've got to, church has to go on. The pastor's absent. He calls me and say, hey, look, D, I've just got deathly ill. I won't be able to. We don't close the church. I don't tell the parishioners, hey, we can't have church today because Reb is sick. The church still has to be. So you have to be in a position. So you have to, like the word says, we've got to study to show ourselves approved, because a workman that needeth not rightly dividing the words of truth, which its essence says that you've got to have something in you in order to be able to put something in others. So,
and also be ready.
You got to be ready. Got to be ready.
Got to be ready.
Got to be ready.
So I'm ready to hear your first sermon.
You ever there? But I tell you what, I got some tapes in. I got some tapes for you, because I've had a lot of opportunities to speak at a lot of churches, and there was one particular church that I spoke at every year for about 10 years. They wouldn't let me stop coming to that particular program. Once I came the first year, they asked me to come back the second year, and they continued to ask me to come back, and that was Mount Sinai. And I just want to give a shout out today to my girlfriend who was responsible for me being there. Her name is Miss Mary Dean. And Miss Mary Dean is getting ready to celebrate her 99th birthday next month, John. Celebrate her 99th birthday next month, John. 99 years
Happy
on
birthday.
this earth. And in June, she'll be celebrating. But she's the reason that I was able to continue to come to Mount Sinai. But not only Mount Sinai, I've also been the guest speaker at 10th Avenue, the church on 10th Avenue, Reverend Gordon Thomas's church on 10th Avenue, Ross Grove, and other churches that I've had the opportunity to actually speak and bring the word to.
Okay. Always be ready.
Always ready.
Now, Tony, again, if you don't know how Barber Shop Talk Live works, there's a lot of, I call, conversation that we'd have. Mm-hmm. And also I have a Facebook page, and what I do with my Facebook page, I put on there the word for the day.
Okay.
The word for the day.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 3 P's.
Okay.
3 P's. Now, you tell me what these 3 P's mean to you.
Okay.
Now the first P is your plan. The next P is your potential.
Okay.
And the third P is your purpose.
Okay.
So tell me what them 3 P's mean. Now when I put those 3 P's out there, it's almost in a sermon form.
Okay.
So I need to know your plan, your potential, and your purpose.
Okay. My plan is this. I would like to see this city, the city of Augusta, reach its full potential. Its full potential. And the only way to do that, because I tell people all the time, Augusta is a diamond in the rough. We have a river that separates us in South Carolina. And anytime you're in a city and you have a river, it's a plus, because there's so much potential that you can do on the river. Folks love water. So the late, great Ed McIntyre had a dream for Augusta, and that was to develop the Riverwalk down in Augusta. Great plan. The wheels were set in motion. Things got done down there. Unfortunately, McIntyre didn't get to see those plans in its finality, and but there's still potential for the river. So that plan that I have is to see Augusta continue to grow by way of economic development in the Augusta corridor. Mm-hmm. Because, having the masters here, Augusta is well known. James Brown, folks, when you say Augusta, Georgia, folks readily know Augusta, Georgia, by way of James Brown, by way of the Augusta National, and things of that nature. So since we already have that national spotlight, it's time for us to develop Augusta so that not only those that are on the outside can appreciate Augusta, but those of us that live in Augusta can appreciate Augusta as well. So the plan that I have is that we should continue to expand what we've already started by way of our riverfront, and actually in South Richmond County as well. We've got to develop South Richmond County. Land doesn't grow anymore, John. Once you've used up land is used. But South Augusta has much land to be developed. Downtown, we're redeveloping downtown. We're revitalizing. So we didn't gain any land downtown. We're just taking old buildings, old homes, tearing them down, and we're building new structures. So we're revitalizing downtown Augusta. But South Richmond County has the potential for growth, exponential growth. So my plan is not only to continue to develop the Riverwalk, but also to develop in South Richmond County as well.
Now, what's your potential?
My potential is this right here. Putting my hands on the pulse of those that I work with, those commissioners that I work with, and getting them to see the vision of growing South Richmond County. So the potential is there for us to continue to develop South Richmond County and make it a thriving part of Augusta because it has all of the right potential. It has all the right potential.
Now let's hear your purpose. What is your purpose? What is your purpose?
I think my purpose, I've been placed here for a reason. 2006, I told you I ran for county commission, did not win. 2010, tried it again, did not win. And the reason, I won't say the reason I did not win, but I would say it wasn't my time. It wasn't my time. It wasn't in the will of God for me to win. I was working a full-time job, had just started a new campaign at my job where I was working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So it was hard for me to put into a campaign. So I gathered all my folks and I said, hey, look, my job scope has changed. You know, I'm challenged with working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and I can't put in the time to help with the campaign, so I'm not going to ask you guys to do something that I can't do as a candidate. So we scaled back on the campaign, was already on the ballot, so we remained on the ballot, but we couldn't put the time in. And so that let me know then, working a full-time job and trying to be a commissioner to serve the people, you can't really do the two. You can't balance. You either gotta focus on one or the other. So lo and behold, I was able to retire in 2018, and my predecessor, which was Ben Hassan, had just finished up his second term, so he was term limited. So there was going to be a new commissioner for District 6. So with me being retired, I was fulfilling my purpose. God had put me in a position that I could give the time needed to a campaign strategy of going door-to-door, grassroots campaign. My team and I, Team Lewis, we did a phenomenal job every day of the week. We were out there beating the paths, beating the bushes, and we actually succeeded with the help of God, and that was my purpose. My purpose was that God said that I couldn't do this until I was able to do it full time like it needed to be done.
Now, Tony, let me switch gears for a minute now. You started your term this
January.
This January.
Yes, January.
Okay, so now you've been in since January. Mm-hmm. You've been in since January. You see all the inner workings of the whole thing, how everything works. You see how the meetings go, how the budget is done. You see how everything goes on since this past January. Uh-huh. Now that you see it from the inside, because it's different from the outside.
Absolutely.
So for the folks like me from the outside, I look at it like, what in the world are they doing?
Absolutely.
This don't make no sense what they're doing. Them folks crazy.
Absolutely.
Tony, all of them are lost their mind. So now that you see it from the inside and see what's really going on, and it seems like you might not be able to get your point across. You might not be able to get your ideas heard. It seems like you just sitting there not getting nothing done. So the question is, by saying all of that, do you regret running?
No, to be honest with you.
Do you regret it, Tony? Because
I don't.
Hold on now, Tony.
I don't.
Tony, you listen to me now.
I don't.
Again, now you see now that you retired, mm-hmm. You don't put in. You've been retired 5 years.
Absolutely.
5 years mean you free and clear.
Free and clear.
You chilling.
Chilling.
You and your wife can have more time.
Do whatever I want to do.
You can come to church if you want to come to church.
If I don't want to, I don't have to.
You good.
Uh-huh.
Now you don't put yourself in the position where you out there on the seat.
Absolutely.
You on the board.
Absolutely.
And all these so-called friends and colleagues or whatever you want to call them, they ain't heard nothing you said.
Haven't heard it.
Ain't heard nothing. And this now you see how it works from the inside.
Absolutely.
You be like, do these folks know what we trying to do for the city?
Yeah.
Do you regret it?
No.
Tell me why you don't regret it.
Not one bit.
Tell me why you don't regret it.
The reason I don't is this right here. There's a scripture in the Bible that said the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to those that endure to the end.
Okay.
So guess what? I have 4 years. I've won 4 years. Nobody can take that away from me. 4 years. The only way that can happen is if I resign or if I do something to cause me to have to give up this seat. But guess what? My end is 4 years from now. My end is 4 years from now. And guess what? I'm in the race till the end. Now, I realize that in order for me to be heard with my colleagues, it says that we have to have a unilateral relationship with one another. Because the significance of it is this, John, nothing can be done down at 535 Green Street without 6 votes. So if I'm in a position, there's something that I want to see done, then I've got to know how to talk to my colleagues about supporting me in what it is that I want to be done, but I got to allow them to see that it's going to be worth their support. And likewise, when they come to me and need support, because like I've already said, no man is an island, and especially on the Richmond County, on the commission, you got to have 6 votes. You got to have 6 votes. So with me, John, you've got to have a rapport with your colleagues. You've got to have a rapport with your colleagues. You've got to be able to talk with one another. You're not going to agree on everything. You won't do it. But then you can agree to disagree. And then sometimes you got to see the bigger picture. Even if you don't see it in what it is that they're trying to do, don't shoot it down. You got to see if it's going to work first.
Okay. All right. Now, again, Tony, we got a whole new admission team down there. Mm-hmm. We got a whole new administrative staff. We got a new, you new.
I'm new.
I think Stacey Pulliam's new.
Me and Stacey are the only 2 really new ones there.
Right. Well, y'all really the 2 new ones. You know, the rest of them, they kind of a little seasoned.
Yep.
Now we got one new one. We got one real new person in the seat. That's Mayor Garnett.
Okay.
Now he's the face of the commission board because he's the mayor.
Absolutely.
So now, in the last few weeks, we had a discussion going on, and it got up to the governor's desk. It got to the governor's desk. Now it got to the governor's desk because now the governor has said that the city, Richmond County voters, has the chance to decide on the mayor having deciding vote, making a vote where the mayor can vote his decision and can break the tiebreaker or whatever, whichever way he want to vote. So now he's new, you new, Pulliam is new, all these new faces, but now there's a thing on the board on the ballot where we can vote the mayor to have the deciding vote. What's your thoughts on the mayor? Should the mayor vote? Should his vote count? Should he just keep the way it is? So now, now remember, we live. Lord knows, CSR, we are live.
We're live.
We live.
We're live.
So now watch yourself now, Tony. I don't want to know the answer.
Okay, but they want to know
the people want to know the answer.
They want to know the answer.
They want to know. So I'm asking you, should the mayor have the deciding vote or should he have a vote at all?
Okay, to be honest with you, the mayor's always had a vote.
Okay.
The mayor has always had a vote.
Okay.
When there was a tie.
Well, okay, I got you.
In the event that there was not a tie, then the mayor never had a vote. Do I think the mayor? I have no problem with the mayor having a vote.
Remember, we live now.
I have, let me say it once again to every one of you out there. I have no problem with the mayor having a vote. If the people determines that the mayor should have a vote, I have no problem.
Okay. Because it's up to the people.
It's up to the people.
And remember, I don't want to know the answer.
Absolutely. The people want to know.
And the people want to know.
To the people, if you decide that the mayor should have a vote, then I'm all for it. I'm all for the mayor having a vote. And I think that that's the way it should have been. Because our charter, the city charter, never gave the mayor a vote. So I don't deem it, and the charter was done by the people. Consolidation was done by the people. So if consolidation was done by the people, then I think anything that happens within the structure of the local government, the people should have a say as to how it's done. And this is the right way to do it. Allow the people.
Okay, I got you. Now, Tony, as you know, this is a live show. No chaser. We coming straight at you from the hip. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that I don't even want to know the answer to.
Okay, go ahead.
The people want to know the answer to this question.
All right.
Now, one thing that the mayor was talking about mayor-elect that he was talking about during his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
He said it numerous of times. He didn't make sure that his voice got heard on this particular issue.
Okay.
And he came in on Barber Shop Talk Live and said it also.
Okay.
The one thing he was talking about was transparency. I want full transparency. I won't fool you. I won't shake you. I won't tell you nothing. And I also told Garnett, I say, if you're fooling me, you're doing a good job.
Okay.
You're doing a good job if you're fooling me now, because he was saying some good stuff, and he lived up to his word. And I also told him, if you're fooling me, you're doing a good job.
Okay.
So he always was talking about transparency. So that being said, some of the transparency he was probably referring to was, where's the money going? Where's the money going? What happened to if the city is doing all these projects and all this stuff coming in and everything's going on, we don't see where the money is at. So he wanted, and I'm assuming he wanted, I hate to talk for him, but I'm assuming he wanted to see where the budgets. Let's do a forensic audit of all these different entities in the commission, so we can really see. I don't want to know, Tony. The people want to know where is going on with the transparency. So when it comes on the flow, Catherine McKnight brought it up.
My colleague, Ms. McKnight.
She said, well, let's let the people see where is the money going in this city, because people seeing potholes going on. We see grass ain't cut in certain parts of this. We see stuff that should not be happening in a city this size.
Mm-hmm.
So now when somebody come on the floor and come on the news and say, I want us to know where the money is at. But then it won't happen because it's voted down.
Okay.
But you are elected, or you've been put in that position to take care of the people, so the people see what's happening with our money.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to get back on Garnett, and Garnett say, we want transparency.
Absolutely.
So Tony Lewis, can we have some transparency on can we know?
Absolutely.
Can we know what's happening?
Absolutely.
So
Look,
why we don't know?
Let me tell you this.
Why we don't know?
I'm going to tell you this, Brother John. Glad you asked.
God dog it, why we don't know?
Listen, I'm glad you asked. Here I am, 4 months in this administration, 4 months in this position. And I too was one on the outside that may have been asking the same question. But once I'm on the inside, I'm privy to seeing, and everybody can be a part of it. When the budget is done, we have budget sessions, budget is done, it's open to the public. These things are open to the public. So let me tell you this. I thought that it was easy to get things done when you're talking about grass needing cut, when
potholes,
citizens are complaining about right-of-ways, drainage that hadn't been done in their neighborhood for 2 years and things of that nature. You know, it's a process, and we have 311. So whenever there's something going on that you're concerned about or something that you want, don't call 311. That's the process. Process is 311. And once you call 311, they'll put the paperwork in, and it has to go to the right department of whatever your situation or complaint is. Well, you may be 100. You may be number 100 on the list, and they can't get to you as quick as you would like for them to get to you, because you got to remember, you're working with only, you're working with the staff. You just don't have the people, the manpower. And I can honestly say, I can see that now. And so when it doesn't happen as fast as they want it to happen, then that's when we'll get a phone call, because you're my constituent. I voted you in, and I need some resolutions to this problem that I'm having. And and I tell my folks, I say, have you tried 311? They say yes. So I say, let's see where you are with the 311 first before we get involved. Now, I want everybody to be satisfied. And the reason I want everybody to be satisfied is because I plan to run a second time. So if I'm fulfilling my duty and my responsibilities now, and you feel like I've done a good job, then you're more than likely to vote me in again. So every person that calls me with a complaint or with a problem, I reach out to them. I investigate it thoroughly, see where they are on the list with their complaint, and I try to make something happen by way of that. But what I would like to say to the listeners, to the audience, there is a process. And I know, like I say, sometimes things are not getting done as fast as you would like for them to get done. but let's just utilize process.
Okay. All right. Now, also, CSR, if you have a question for our guest, Mr. Tony Lewis, please, ma'am, please, sir, put the question on the screen. If you have a question or comment for myself, please, sir, please, ma'am, put it on the screen. We'll make sure we answer any and all questions. I think we have a question from the floor. Okay.
This is from Karen Gordon. She really likes it.
Okay.
She asking, there's any plans for any traffic lights, at Faircrest and Peach.
Great question, Karen. Great question. First of all, Peach Orchard and Faircrest, she's referring to when you're coming up Peach Orchard and you're traveling up Peach Orchard toward Tobacco Road. You know, there's a Dollar General store that's been built right there as you go into the second entrance of Pepper Ridge. And there are a lot of things that are happening. It's hard to get out of there. See, Pepper Ridge has two entrances. The main entrance, there's a red light at the main entrance that sits at the bottom of the hill, and then the second entrance is at the top of the hill. That's Faircrest. And so Peach Orchard Road is actually a state road. So the county, we don't have a say-so as to what happens on a state road. But to answer a question, the Pepper Ridge Neighborhood Association has been vigilant with the state about all of the things that are happening at that little intersection right there, till they have a plan in motion. The state does have a plan, but it does not have a traffic light. It has another way of allowing folks to be able to get out of that area, and for those that are trying to turn in that area. So they have developed a plan, but it's not a traffic light. And we, the city, cannot put a traffic light there due to the fact that it's a state road. Peach Orchard Road is a state road.
Okay. Again, CSRA, if you got a question for our guests, please, ma'am, please, sir, answer any and all questions. Put on the screen. We'll make sure we get all your questions answered. If you have a question for myself, Tony Lewis, please answer any and all questions that you have for our guests and for myself. Now, Tony, I got the question again. These questions, I don't want to know the answer to these questions, Tony. These ain't none of my questions. Oh, all right.
You're welcome, Karen.
Now, remember, Tony, I want to know, and I'm sorry, I don't want to know the answer to these questions. The people want to know. The people want to know the answer to these questions now, Tony. The question I got now is a question that's been hovering around the CSRA for a few months.
Okay.
It's been hovering. It's don't got to be a dark cloud.
Okay.
It's don't got to be raining on us.
Real dark.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
All right. Well, I can understand frustration.
It's been frustrating. So now, watch my choice of words now, Tony.
Okay.
What? I know you're a deacon.
All right.
But how in the hell?
Come on with it.
How in the hell?
Come on with it.
You on the board and you control stuff that happens in this city. Watch my choice of words.
I got you.
How
Come
in the
on.
hell are we still fussing over the ambulance service in the city when you had one that you was paying 1.9 million to? Now you bring in somebody who's gonna charge you 2.65.
Yes.
Tony,
yes.
watch my words.
I tell you.
How in the hell that makes sense to you?
I tell you what.
Come on now, Tony.
It seems to me, John, like the math just
The
don't
math
add up. It don't add
but
up.
But who
dude.
in the hell on the seat allowed 1.9 to slide and bring in 2.65?
Okay.
But Tony, I'm telling you, we live.
Hey, let me tell you. Let me tell you a little something
before
about
you answer that question. Before
Okay,
you answer that
go
question,
ahead.
I want to be clear.
Go ahead.
I don't want to know the answer.
You don't want to know.
The people want to know.
Let me talk. Let me
The
talk.
people
Let
wanna
me
know.
talk to
Talk
the
to the
people.
people. Talk
Let
to
me
the
talk
people.
to the people.
Talk to the people.
People, let me tell you about this 2.65 and this 1.9. Now, this debacle with our EMS service has been going on and had been going on for probably the past year and a half or so when it came down to contract negotiation with Gold Cross. So, and when I won my election in May, you know, I was attending commission meetings on Tuesdays. I go down commission meetings, sit in because it's. Let me tell you this: it's open to the public. If you've never been to a commission meeting, please just take one Tuesday afternoon to come and sit in a commission meeting. So I was sitting in the commission meeting, John, and it would come up occasionally about the contract with Gold Cross. And for those of you that may not know, we weren't within a contract with Gold Cross, but they was in what we call an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. The contract had expired with Gold Cross. Gold Cross had been in Augusta for a long time. And to be honest with you, in 2004, I believe it was in 2004, 2006, Gold Cross was getting actually $1.4, $1.5 million with their contract. And mind you now, that's 2004 or 2006, sometime in that time frame. So that's 19 or 17 years ago. And come up to 2022, just last year, they were getting just $650,000. So 15 to 17 years ago, your contract netted you $1.4 or $1.6 million. And here it is, 2022, you're only getting $650,000. Now, if that was my business, I want to know, wait a minute now, I'm getting almost 1/3 of what I was getting 15 to 17 years ago. So how did it come about with this MOU? Well, to answer that, some felt like Gold Cross wasn't doing a good enough job. We had citizens, and I'm not just talking about constituents of the 6th district, I'm talking about citizens of Augusta, Richmond County, were complaining about the service that Gold Cross was giving. And with the time, that's the service, with the time, arrival time. You know, if you call an ambulance at 9:30 and they arrive at 10:45, you know, what happened in an hour and 15 minutes could be detrimental. You know, depending on the nature of the call, So that was a lot of the complaints. So it was and I'm going to be honest with the people. I was hoping that the last commission would get that resolved, the Gold Cross issue resolved, but it didn't get resolved. So it fell in our lap. So there were commissioners that had all of the information and the understanding and the inner workings of the Gold Cross previous contract. They were privy to that because they've sat on the commission for that time. So Stacy Pulliam and I are new. So we're just coming in. Although Wayne Guilfoyle was new, just one, but he had already served 2 terms as a commissioner. So he already knew about Gold Cross and anybody else that had won another term. So Stacy and I were the 2 new people on Gold Cross, and we knew that it was a hot button subject. It was a hot button topic. Gold Cross. Where we're going to go with Gold Cross? Where we're going to go with Gold Cross? Now let's talk about the 2.6 million and the 1.9.
The people want to know.
The people want to know. We had an opportunity, John. I tell you now, we had an opportunity. We had given our interim city administrator, along with our fire chief, our procurement director, and our 311 director, our 911 director, we had given them, that staff, the opportunity to sit down and negotiate with Gold Cross, a contract with Gold Cross.
Okay, all right.
So there were some gives and there were some takes. In any contract, there's going to be some give and some takes. So out of that contract, what they came up with, Gold Cross deemed what they wanted, but they didn't give us everything that we sent them in there to negotiate for us, for Augusta. So there were some things left out. So Gold Cross wanted this. So when it came before us with that contract, we didn't like it because there were some things left out of it that we thought the city should have had. When I say we, talking about the city should have. So when it came down to voting for that particular contract, we voted on that contract. Hear me now. There was 5 votes for it, and there was 5 votes against it. There was 5 votes against it. The mayor had an opportunity to break the tie, and the mayor broke the tie. And his vote was against, was for Gold Cross, was for the contract with Gold Cross. He broke the mayor had an opportunity to break. Let me back up. The mayor had an opportunity to send it back for negotiation.
Okay.
And the mayor decided not to send it back for negotiation, but that we should vote on that particular contract. And when he deemed that we should vote on that contract, he never got a chance to break that tie. You understand? So it did not go through. That contract did not go through. So now Gold Cross is in the position to say, hey, look, we're going to give up the zone. So there's a lot of moving parts. We don't determine who gets the zone. The state determines who gets the zone. And so now when Gold Cross says they're going to give up the zone, now the zone has to go out for bids. It goes back into the hands of the state, and the state allows contractors to put in a bid for Augusta's zone. So when that happened, we were trying to get the zone. So if we get the zone, if Augusta gets the zone, then we've got to show that we can handle the zone. We weren't in a position to do that because we don't have ambulance, we don't have EMT, but we could have partnered with someone if we had the zone. All we had to show was that we had the ability to be able to continue EMS service. And so what we did was we put out an RFP, and 3 companies bid it. Gold Cross came in and bid it again. There was 2 other companies to bid. And the best one, based on the grading that committee did, the best company came in at about $1 million and some dollars to actually do. They were the best one chosen. But we didn't get a chance to go with that company because they cried foul play. We didn't have enough time to actually, our time ran out to be the zone owners. So therefore we couldn't utilize that company. So now it goes back to the state. So the state puts it up for bid, and all these companies apply. So the state determines which one out of all the companies that is going to best serve Augusta. Listen, it's a process that if you don't know the inner workings, all you know is what's going on the outside. And believe you me now, the news media didn't make it any better. Didn't make it any better for this whole situation. So with this let's get back to this $2.6 million because the people want to know.
Tell the people.
$2.6 million. There was a company that wanted 1.9. Gold Cross wanted 1.9. So there were commissions saying, now why would we give Gold Cross 1.9 and they're not going to give us everything that we want? The company that's doing the 2.6, they gave us more than what we wanted. So it's only fair that they were compensated for what they were giving the city. Let me tell you, we can't put a price on your life when it comes down to you needing EMS service. We can't put a price on it. We couldn't put a price on it. And what we give them, John, we're not paying the EMS provider. We're not paying, we don't pay them. We don't pay them. But what we do is we give them we supplement them for all of the calls that they will not get paid for. That's what Augusta does. So they can't determine when you make a phone call whether you have insurance or not and you need an ambulance. Nobody can determine that.
Tony, boy, you got some stuff, but I got a caller that's about to tear this TV screen up to get in this question. Caller. And if she don't get her question, she gonna jump on me. Okay. So we got a question from the floor.
Okay, go ahead. Okay. The next several years, District 6, I see that area. Tell Karen, let me tell you, Tobacco Road, Carter, Windsor Spring Road, and Tobacco Road is going to be exponential growth. I wish I was able to expound upon it a little bit more, but I'm one of those type people that don't like to put the cart before the horse, and there are some workings that are going on with some industries for South Richmond County, that particular corridor, that I know that Augusta will be pleased with. Not only just South Richmond County residents, but Augusta itself will be pleased with. We're in negotiating stage with the company to bring some great resources to South Richmond County that's going to make South Richmond County jump.
Can I jump in there real quick, Tony?
Absolutely.
Can I jump in there with that?
Come in.
And we're going to get back to the question.
Come in.
If that's the case, it seems like some of the people or the it should be told to the people all this potential stuff that's coming. So if that potential stuff is coming, maybe I can buy me an acre of land around there.
Yeah,
Maybe I can build my house around there so I can really benefit from all this potential growth that's coming. But I had to put that in there.
It's coming, John. So let me tell you something. If you've got any money, if you got some change set aside, and you want to buy some land in South Richmond County, I implore you to go South Richmond County and do it, because it's going to happen.
Okay.
Let me tell you, our mayor, Garnett Johnson, I really appreciate all that he wants to do for South Richmond County, because he's pushing development, he's pushing new development, economic development, retail development. Our mayor is pushing for South Richmond County. He and I were together today at a 60-year anniversary at Oxy Kim, located on Marvin Griffin Road. They celebrated 60 years of them being in Augusta and operating in Augusta. And he and I were just talking today about some stuff in South Richmond County, that Tobacco Road, Windsor Spring Road, Carter, where he has his office at. You see, he kept his office in South Richmond County. That was his headquarters. So he's all in for growth and development in South Richmond County. And I tip my hat to our mayor, Garnett Johnson, for being on board with seeing what we need in South Richmond County.
Tony, I got another lady. She about to tear this TV screen up. She don't get her question answered, so I got to make sure she get her question answered. We got another question from the floor?
Go ahead.
Back to the previous conversation.
EMS?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she said, so the city brought the ball for what best for the city, but the state hasn't handled it.
Not necessarily.
That's from Andrew Wright.
Angela Wright. Not necessarily. The city didn't drop. I wouldn't say that we dropped the ball. I wouldn't say that we dropped the ball. We've got to understand the dynamics of EMS service in the state of Georgia. The whole state of Georgia is drawn into zones. And Augusta is zone 6, along with Columbia County, Jefferson County, Burke County. We're all zone 6. So what happens is, if you don't have the capacity to have your own EMS service, then what the state does is the state will provide you with the EMS service provider. But let me tell you this, even with the contract with the new provider that we have, we don't owe them anything. Let me say that again. We don't owe them. Once the state gave them the zone belonged to them. Augusta does not owe them not one penny. Not one red cent do we owe. We didn't owe Gold Cross not one red cent. But this is what we do as a municipality, because we know that we have residents that need EMS service and don't have the capacity or the capability of paying for such service. So we supplement these providers for taking care of our residents. All of the indigent that we have in Augusta, Richmond County, when it comes down to them needing service, they gotta have service. I'm fortunate enough to have insurance. If I need an ambulance, my insurance provider is gonna pay for my ambulance. But not everybody has that fortune of having insurance. So what we do is, we don't owe the EMS service provider not 1 cent, but in good faith, we give them contracts because they're doing a service for our citizens.
CSRA, I appreciate you for joining this conversation. It's been a crazy, enlightening, energetic conversation from my good friend, District 6 Commissioner Tony Lewis. Also, listen, if you have any questions for my good friend Tony Lewis, please, ma'am, please, sir, get in contact with him. And the way you can get in contact with Tony is how?
You can get in contact with me and I usually give folks my personal, I have a city phone. And John, I've had it for 4 months and I don't even remember the number. As a matter of fact, when I do give the number, I have to look on the phone, the back of the phone, to actually give the number. So I'm going to do that.
Give him the number.
My number that you can reach me is 762-328-8491. That's my city phone. Now I'm going to give you another number that I know and I don't have to look on the back of it. And I ask my constituents to reach me personally on my cell phone, 706-836-6623. Anytime you need me, Just give me a call. If I miss your call, I guarantee you and I promise you that I will return your call. I will return your call.
Tony Lewis, I heard everything you said.
Uh-huh.
Now, again, I believe you.
Yes, sir.
But I need the people to believe
I
you.
want them to believe.
I believe everything you said.
I want
the people to believe everything you said. So what that going to do for me and for the people, we going to challenge you.
Okay.
We going to challenge you. And right here at Barber Shop Talk Live, we challenge all of our guests to say what they going to say and mean what they say.
I'm in the hot seat.
You are in the hot seat and you finna be challenged.
Challenge. Throw the challenge
flag is been thrown.
Challenge flag been thrown.
So from tomorrow on down, we need to hear your voice. We need to see your face. When there's an issue come up with the CSRA, we need to hear you and see you address the issues, not when it's election time.
Absolutely.
All the time, because, again, the people want to know.
Absolutely.
What's going on in this city. When you talk about South Augusta, don't tell me about South Augusta. Tell me about Augusta.
Absolutely.
Tell me about what's going on downtown. So I'm challenging you.
But you know what? And I'm glad you made that challenge, because I tell folks all the time, it may have been the voters in the 6th district that voted me in, and I represent the 6th district, but I represent Augusta in its totality. Augusta is just sliced up in the district, but when it comes down to the betterment of the city, then we represent the entire city.
The entire city.
Absolutely.
So CSRA, I appreciate you for joining in the Barbershop Talk Live. Another great conversation with another great guest. If you want to be a guest on Barbershop Talk Live, please, ma'am, please, sir, inbox me. If you want to be a sponsor of Barbershop Talk Live, please, ma'am, please, sir, inbox me. We'll make sure you get all your information out there. Make sure you get in the hot seat. Tony?
Hey, John. Hey, man, I've enjoyed it, too. Where has the time gone, man? Because I think I can sit here for another hour or so, all day. We can talk all day. Absolutely.
Before we go, I got to give away something.
Okay.
I got to give away something.
Okay.
Please, ma'am, please, sir, if you heard the conversation, you paid attention to everything we talked about. We talked about a lot.
Yes, sir, we did.
About A to Z, up and down.
Yes.
So we talked about a whole lot of things here in the CSRA. So I'm asking you now, if you paid attention to this conversation that we had with Tony Lewis, the commissioner of 6th District,
absolutely,
you had to know the answer to these questions. I got 2 questions, just 2. 2 CSRA. The first question, always a simple question.
Okay. The
first question is, where is he a deacon at? If you paid attention to the conversation, you know the answer to that question. Where is he a deacon at? And he also says just a stone's throw away from where we at.
Absolutely.
So that's the easy question. The next question is, how many years has he worked on this job? Simple question. CSRA, if you know the answer to that question, guess what I got? I got a Zaxby's gift card.
All right. Now I know somebody has been paying attention.
I know I got a Zaxby's gift card for you. Again, 2 questions. What church is he the head deacon at? And how many years he's worked on this job? If you know the answer to those questions, please, ma'am, please, sir, put the answer on the screen, and we got a winner. We'll call you out. Matter of fact, come get it. Do we have an answer to the question? Okay. Wait a minute. Let's make sure that's correct.
That's correct.
Okay. And the next question, how long has he worked on this job?
I've been retired 5 years.
But how long did he work to get that retirement? So that's the second question. Yeah, he put it out there because you got to be there so many years to retire. So the first question is, what church is he the deacon at? And the second question is, how many years has he worked on this job? Simple. But in the process, Tony, you have been challenged.
I've been challenged.
You've been challenged.
You dropped the flag.
I dropped the flag.
You dropped the flag, John.
Now, when some stuff go on,
I got to meet the challenge.
You got to meet the challenge. We need to know. Okay. We got. Oh, wait a minute. We got what's the answer to the first question? What's it? Okay.
And the second question is 30 years.
All right, Tony. We got to see if that's correct.
No,
we didn't get the question right. Again,
she's close. She's close.
What church is he the deacon at, and how many years has he worked on the job? In the meantime, in between time, you can also put the answer on the screen later on. We'll make sure you get your gift card to Zaxby's. But again, Tony, I appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, John, it's been a blast, man.
I appreciate it.
It's been a blast. One that I'm going to remember.
You better not forget it. You better keep doing for the city.
I've been challenged.
You better keep doing for the city.
Got to.
You've been challenged.
Got to.
And you've been voted in.
Absolutely.
Do for the city.
By the people.
By the people.
And for the people.
I don't want to know what you're going to do.
The people want to know.
The people want to know.
And listen, if you want to know, give me a call. I'll come by, sit with you, sit down, drink lemonade, tea, whatever you want. If you got something that you want to talk about, give me a call.
To my sponsors, to my supporters, I appreciate you. I thank you. And Tony, if I don't see you again, I love you.
I love you too.
God knows
And
I
guess
love
what?
you.
And ain't nothing you can do
And
about
they can do about it. CSRA, thank you for tuning in to the DJ behind the scene, DJ J Will, to my mixers, to my the sound man, the mix man, the audio man, play. I love all y'all. Again, if I don't see you again, I love you. Keep tuning in to Barbershop Talk Live next week, 6 o'clock, right here at Jay's Place Barbershop, 1927 Olive Road. We are looking forward to you. Keep supporting this program. Keep sponsoring it. If you need anything to drink out of, don't forget about these cups we got Barbershop Talk Live. Next week, guest again, Miss Marquette from Medicare Specialist, Miss Marquette Cohen.
Yes.
Tune in to Barbershop Talk Live right here, 1927 Olive Road. She'll be right here in this hot seat. She's a Medicare specialist. If you need any information on Medicare, Medicaid, you need anybody that can cut a service, please, man, please, sir, tune in to Barbershop Talk Live next week. We got another question?
And we got tell her she's got Mount Vernon right, but she don't have the years.
You're getting close. Now listen, Tony, it's time to get out of here.
It's time to go,
It's
John.
time to get out of here, bro.
John, we've been having too much fun.
I know it.
Man, I don't want to go.
But we got to get out of here.
But John, I don't want to go.
The time is far
Let's see
spent.
what the people want. What do
the people want? The people say it's time to go.
Time to go. We gonna do what the people say.
The people
Give
say
the
it's
people
time.
what they
Give the
want.
people what they want.
Give the people what they
and
want.
My wife say get home too.
There you go.
We
There
got to
you
get
go.
out of here. So again, CSRA, keep on tuning in to Barbershop Talk Live. Bigger and better and more guests gonna be raiding this hot seat. Listen, Tony, we'll see you later.
See you later. We
Y'all have a
gonna
good.
dance out of here.
Let's get out of
He
here.
danced with Jenny last week. Me and John, he danced with Jenny, so we gonna dance to John. I'm gonna dance to you, and I don't mind dancing to you. So John, we gonna dance.
We gonna rock out of here. We rocking out. CSRA, keep tuning to Barbershop Talk Live. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop Talk.
At Jay's Place.
Barbershop Talk.
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 At Jay's Place. Barbershop Talk.
Everything's on the table.